Okay, so we are going to try to run a, an IBM 1401 program in Hercules using a simulator, using the version written by, modified by Tom Brown. So I've already have everything downloaded. The version that I'm using is not the latest on my GitHub. This one is basically the one that's on bit savers with a little bit of my JCL at the front. I've called this one B1401 because there's a version of it modified by Tom Brown, and there's a version modified by Dick Weaver, and the one modified by Tom Brown seems to work better out of the box. It doesn't need any changes. Uh, there is one difficulty with it, which I'll showcase, but other than that, this one works pretty smoothly. So everything's freshly downloaded. So let's go ahead. This is Turnkey 5 for MVS 3.8J. It comes with a copy of Hercules. We first have to set console mode. Okay. And then we should be able to just start this. So while that's going, I have a copy of BigPrint. BigPrint from the IBM-1401.info website. I put my demo card here. And this is set up, I believe, for the old encoding used by SIMH. And what we want is to use the thing that Sim1401 will expect. That is going to be, I believe the idea behind what it's expecting is that the holes in the punch card would be the same, use the same deck of cards, but those cards are going to burn differently from 1401 versus the IBM System 360 EBSDIC. So it's different versions of EBSDIC. We will stick with EBSDIC 1047, which is a bit newer than the 037, I think. It also translates more cleanly between ISO 88591 and 1047. So let's go ahead and convert this. I will open a console here, PowerShell window. That's fine. I1401 on from SIMH old to Sim1401 1047. Looking in BigPrint.txt, and let's call it BigPrint sim.txt. Okay, let's not use PowerShell then. Let's use no ordinary terminal. Desktop. 141.1 Sim 104. Okay, so I guess that build needs, give me a second here. That's probably the wrong one. Let's use this one. Okay, this is a fresh virtual machine, so stuff like the runtime wasn't set up. Okay, so now we have BigPrint Sim. You can see that some of the characters are different. Like these were parentheses, and now in this version it's when Hercules translates this into EBSDIC internally, it will result in the correct bytes being sent, And so to make sure that it's expecting 1047, we will do code page 19 1047. Code page 819 is the host code page. Hercules will tell Hercules to expect ISO 8859 which this tool outputs Unicode, but these are all ASCII characters anyway, so it's not going to make a difference. The proper thing to do would be to convert it with icon-v. That's not really going to be necessary here. So we just set that up. Now we will install the simulator. Now to do that, I'm going to feed this JCL into card reader C00C. Let's see. There we go. Install JCL. CIR, that should be fine. Okay, so that's installed. Now that I'm thinking about what I really should be doing is setting up the print. I'll set up the printer now. I should have done it first, really. But okay, so first, let's stop this MF1 thing that just causes a lot of annoying printout. So let's go ahead and pause that. So when we put slash in at the Hercules console, that means the rest of the command goes to the emulated System 360 or System 370 console. So you're typing on this typewriter that's reserved for system use, basically. So, okay, so that's installed, and now let's try. Let's set up the printer now, actually. So we have, we will set it up with dev init. Let me see, the printer is 00E. Dev init 00E. Close 2403. Socket dev, so it's going to listen to a socket, and that is what Racing Mars Virtual 10403 expects. I'm going to change this YAML quickly. Open with, open with. I'm going to change it to local. Okay, so everything else in there should be fine. We could do some other stuff with the fonts, but right now we're not going to bother with that. So I changed that config, and now should be able to just run it. Connection successful. Okay, we don't need to keep that open, but printouts will show up here. So that's set up. Let's go ahead and let's put our test cards. There's a second reader config. So let's take a look at this run.jcl. Card out. I haven't experimented with the card punch yet. Right is going to be the printer, and that's going to be sysout star, which will be. I'm not sure which is the correct thing here. I think in MSG class A, that's going to be the normal printer. And card in, instead of taking it from a file, I'm going to take it from the second card reader that is set up in TK5, which is 10C. So knowing that, let's go ahead dev init 10C. We'll put our sample cards, BigPrint sim.txt, BigPrint sim.txt, sure, ASCII, EOF, configure, device initialized. Now let's do dev init 00C, run.jcl. The legal entry. This, I believe, is a bug in. Actually, there's one thing I forgot to do, so I'm going to just terminate that. I'll explain the meaning of what I just typed in a short while. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a dummy line, because this version of the code is a modification that expects a configuration card to be the first thing read in. that configuration card, I believe, is something to do with the printer setup, but I'm not totally certain of the detail of the. I know part of the config, but if it doesn't see what's expecting, the letter CCTL, it will just ignore this card, and that was causing a lot of confusion. It was because it wasn't reading the way I had expected, so it's Rafael Pereira Terxeo had experimented with this code previously, and I saw that the Hello World that Rafael used was had that ruler in it, so that's how I figured that out. So we have this set up. Okay, so yeah, okay, let's just reset that. Now we will do dev init 0c. I actually ran it before, so we'll just run. Okay, now illegal entry, I believe, is a bug. It's saying illegal entry. I believe that is a bug relating to the additional code for this configuration card. But notice how it says @01. This code uses the WTOR command, WTOR macro, in order to communicate with the console, which this is. This is like the system console instead of a 3270 terminal. This is so we need to send a reply command. We reply to what it says here, this 01. So again, slash to talk to the system console instead of Hercules itself. R is reply. 1 is which message you're replying to, and then the actual contents of the reply, which in this case to start loading from cards is LDC. Okay, so we have halt and then OK. It didn't start the printout yet. I'm not sure if there's a way to make it print immediately. Possibly not. There's spooling things going on. It's something I should ask around about. So let's reply to 2 with TRM to terminate the emulator. And we have a printout on printer 1. And let's take a look. So we have the job information here, JCL here, more job information, and this is what we wanted. This is the printout from the job. Okay, I haven't really gotten things like sense switches or sense switches to work yet. I haven't experimented with the card punch yet, and I do have some utilities for bringing tapes to work over on Hercules. I haven't tried that with this version of Sim1401. That's something for me to look into in the future. So let's shut this down. I think it's shut down. I just asked on the Mainframe Enthusiast Discord about that, so that should shut it down. And that's it for this demo.